First thing you have to do, seriously, is look at this as a challenge. This is not going to be easy. What you're trying to do is very difficult. People are used to traveling in the same way they've always traveled. Why do I have to fill out a different voucher? Why do I have a different gas card? Why do we have to do this way? People are going to complain. You have to see it as a challenge, and you have to make it work for you. You have to find something in the period of change that makes it work for you. A lot of times, especially as public servants, we don't think of ourselves first. And I say we in the general sense because I'm not one of you. But you think, well, this is going to be better. There's no reason why during this time of change, and I'm going to hit this over and over again, you don't get something out of this for yourself. Make this work for you. The thing that you have to understand is that this is happening for you and not to you. When periods of change happen, the first thing people do, again, is resist. And you've run into this in wherever you work. You bring something new up and people go, no, not doing it. You're not doing that to me. I've been here for 15 years, and there's no way you're pulling this on me. Well, don't look at it that way. It's not happening to you. Find something within the period that you can take away so it happens for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting something out of it for the organization and something for yourself. So that's the first step. If you don't see it as a challenge, if you see it as something that's happening to you, you're in trouble. You'll never get ahead. Because you cannot control everything that happens to you. There's very little in this life that you can control, and you know what I'm talking about. But you can control how you react to it. The next thing you need to have is confidence. You need the confidence to face the challenge. You need to know what you do best and do it. And let it shine a little bit. You know, as adults, especially in this culture, we have a tendency to overlook the things that we do well. We don't want to talk about the things we do well. We focus on what we can't do. You say, yeah, I can do that really well, but I've never figured this out. Why do that? You're not going to do everything by yourself. Have confidence in what you do. Don't overlook it. Don't devalue it. You are where you are for a purpose. They put you in that position for a purpose. And unless they're thinking of getting rid of you when you come back from the conference, you're there for a reason. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you stagnate. Okay? Several years ago, I'm working at a comedy club in San Francisco down on the wharf, a place, it's not there anymore, it's moved, but it was called Cobb's Comedy. Okay? So I'm working down there, and I'm staying on the wharf, and I get up one day, and, you know, being a stand-up is a very difficult schedule because you work an hour a night, so, you know, you have to figure out, well, it's hard to figure out how to fill 23 hours every single day. Anyway, true story. This is an absolutely true story. I'm walking down the wharf, and I see a sign that says muffins, fresh muffins. I think I'll get a muffin. So I go into the muffin store, and I say to the guy behind the counter, I'd like a blueberry muffin, please. He goes to the counter, the shelf. He grabs the muffin. He brings it back to the cash register, and he can't operate the cash register. This is obvious to me within the first 30 seconds because he's looking at the register and looking at me and looking at the register. Now, I'm not going to tell you where it is, the place that it was, because it's not necessary to hurt anybody's feelings. It really doesn't matter what the place was. So I'm the typical American. I see that he can't operate the cash register, and immediately I'm getting antsy. I'm doing the shift, you know? And he's looking at the thing, he's looking at me, and he's looking, and I'm thinking, hey, pal, you know, it doesn't have to go through escrow. Right? I got money, you got a muffin, let's do the deal. How does that sound to you? You know those situations? But he's looking at it, and he sees I'm getting antsy, and he says, hang on. This is totally true. I could not make this up. Hang on for a second. Hey, Richie! And he calls another guy, Richie. Apparently, Richie is the software expert here at the muffin store. So Richie comes out, and together the two of them can't figure it out. I'm not kidding. They get into a fight in front of me, and Richie slaps the other guy. Richie goes like this, stop it, man, you're going to screw up the machine. And now I'm thinking, hey, look for a really big button that says muffin. Should be the biggest button on the register. We're in a muffin store. It's not like I'm trying to buy shoes from you two. Am I the first person who's ever wanted to buy a muffin from you chuckleheads? You know what I'm thinking? When I'm not here, you guys should practice this. One of you should come around this side of the counter. I'd like to buy a muffin. Funny now, isn't it? I was pissed. Here's the point. They were too scared to even press the wrong button on the cash register. And I hate to say, and I don't mean this to sound demeaning, and it's going to, that's why they're in a muffin store. Because they are so afraid to fail and go, oh, that wasn't a muffin, that was a croissant. That they were frozen with fear, couldn't do anything. So it's not easy to change. You fail a lot, but there is success in failure. The people who fail the most are the people who succeed in the end. Very little chance that you're going to do something right the first time out of the gate, right? So you need to take a risk. You need, during a time of change, to say to yourself, try something a little different this time. I'm going to look at it this way. You challenge yourself. You have the confidence in your abilities to say, I think I can do this. And if I can't do it, I don't care. Because you're so confident in yourself that you know that one failure doesn't mark you. So nice and easy. Don't press it. Don't add to it. Work at your own pace. Cope with it. There's some ways you can do that. Take a break. Push your chair back from your desk for a couple of minutes when you feel a little overloaded. Go get a cup of coffee. Not saying you take a 3-hour break. I'm saying you just push it. You know how that works. You can get a massage. Don't know if you get a massage on a regular basis, but other than coming out feeling like a wet dish rag after it's over, you feel pretty good. You could talk about a coworker. That's always... Obviously, I'm just kidding. Don't get a massage. And here's the other thing you can do that's even more helpful. Laugh. And I'm not just saying this to promote myself. Laugh. It has been scientifically proven that a good, hearty belly laugh releases endorphins into your system for up to 45 minutes. So go online and read the joke of the day. Tell somebody a joke. Listen to some funny comedy album. But laugh. Lighten up. It's not that dire. There's no bad consequence to laughter. None. Well, there's one. If you laugh really hard, you could wet yourself. And I think, seriously, we should stop seeing that as a negative. I think we should see peeing our pants as a positive. You're so relaxed, you're so in control, you've actually wet yourself. I want people around the office to say, did you see Jack? That's the second time this week he's wet himself. That guy's good. We got to keep him around. Here's a really important thing you need to do during this period. You need to recreate. You need to get away from work. Recreate, the verb form of recreation. Get out there. Do something. Get away from work. Way away from work. As far away from you can get. Go! Now go back. You know what I'm talking about, man. That vacation's coming up. You got it marked on the calendar. Right? It's Tuesday. Vacation starts on Friday. People going by your desk and you're going, look at Friday. Bye-bye. And you go away and you relax for a couple of weeks and you get it out and then you're ready to go back. Because if you're doing the right thing, if you like what you're doing, and you should, then after a couple of weeks, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm going to recharge my batteries. I'm going to get back there now. But you need to get away in order to enjoy it. People that stay there and work all the time can't take a vacation. Haven't had a vacation in 15 years. Yeah, we noticed. There's 2 quotes in this presentation, and they're my favorite quotes. And this is from Emerson. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. A foolish consistency, doing something the same way over and over and over and over again. That's what you're going to create for yourself, just like this. And I'll tell you right now, you'll be miserable. Unless you're a person that likes that, you'll be thrilled. Another true story. I'm home with my boys. Declan was probably 6, so Liam's 2, and Jean's away. And I think, this is another true story, I think Liam has a poopy diaper. Now, if you have kids, you know how to check for a poopy diaper. Not written in any book. It's just kind of parental osmosis. You know, the first thing you do, pick up the baby, sniff the butt. Not telling you anything you don't know, it's true. Then you pull back the diaper, see if you have any visual signs of poopage. He, in fact, had pooped. He had taken one of those atomic poops. where it goes boom, and you're cleaning the back of their neck, thinking, what, where? There's an opening I didn't know about. So I pull back the diaper to see if there's any, anything, and I get a little right there. So I go, ah! And Declan says, 6, what happened? I said, I got poop on my finger. He said, how did that happen? I said, Liam's got a poopy diaper. And he said, at 6, why are you sticking your finger in a poopy diaper? I'm not kidding. Because that's the way I've always done it. Never occurred to me there might be another way. Just because you're doing it that way doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. Allow yourself to think differently and you will prosper. Second quote, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Right? It is. You love imagination. That's why you go buy books. That's why you listen to music. It fires your imagination. I'm impressed by a person who can tell me how a hard drive works. I'm more impressed by the guy who invented the hard drive. And I can guarantee you there's 50 prototypes in his workshop that didn't work. He failed 50 times, 100 times, 150 times, but he never gave up because his imagination told him he could do it. And he had the confidence in himself to do it. So if you can imagine something happening, chances are you might be able to get pretty close to it.